Hello everybody, welcome to my sewing room where I'm going to be sharing a few of the things I've made this week. And I have to say I am smiling because summer has finally come to the UK. I can actually get my light clothing out and enjoy a bit of warmth. It's been amazing this week. Welcome to #Friday Sews, where we talk a little bit about our sewing and our lives, and we always thank the wonderful Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for starting this hashtag, I would say nearly 3 years ago at least. What I'm wearing today is something summery because any UK sewing vlogger this week will be smiling from ear to ear because we've actually had some warmth. So I dug out, now I showed this on my top 10 new look patterns a while ago, but it's 6217. Don't underestimate the simplicity of this pattern. Sometimes the simplest of pattern can look great with good fabric. And this is one of my favourite fabrics I've ever worked with because it's very different for me. It was a viscose chalet, but it's got flecks of different colour. And normally I tend to lean towards all the florals, but I love this top. I actually made this one with the keyhole back for some reason, which I don't often do because you can make this B in a woven. I've made it in a t-shirt. You can just cut it on the fold. It's wide, obviously it's wide enough here, so you don't need to put any facings in really, but I did put it on this bit, I don't know why. It's got a lovely bit of shaping down there. Also there's a little throw over cardigan which is very similar really to my quick sew cardigan I made, but it hasn't got the fitted sleeves. But that being a quick thing to do. Great pattern. I rave on and on about this one because I think it's so beginner friendly. It's crazy. There's no sleeves, you just a narrow hem, the top and the bottom, or you can put bias binding on, whatever you fancy. I can't stop raving about this pattern. 6217. So I have made some things this week, but a couple of things I made down in the holiday home and they stayed down there. So I'm going to put in a bit of footage here of my report from down there. So we have been down in the holiday home this weekend and I have made a couple of things which I want to show you because I'm actually going to stay here. So I couldn't take them back to show you for Friday Sews. Excuse the voice, I've got an awful cold at the moment, so I'm very groggy. But the first thing I decided to make when I was down here was another bucket hat. Now, I made a few of these about 2 years ago, I think, when I just started my channel. And I tried different ones, and the one that won for me was the Elbe Textiles Sorrento Bucket Hat, which was suggested by a viewer back then, which was amazing. So I brought all the pieces down with me and the fabrics, and I made it out of 2 fat quarters, and here it is. I know it's very bright. Now, so I've got the purple lining. It is reversible, and the blue on the outside. I did it slightly differently this time. I've used some firm interfacing and interfacing both sides of the fabric apart from the top of the hat bit. So there's 2 bits of interfacing and 2 bits of fabric, and it's made it that bit stiffer, so I hope it'll hold up. So I'll model it for you, of course. So here we go. I know hats don't really suit me, but I just needed something because we've got quite a sunny decking. It's south facing, and I needed a hat, so I thought I'd make one of those. I really do like this pattern. It does fit nicely. The only thing I'd like to do next time is maybe put some of those rivets in, so I have some air gaps at the top. I might have a go at doing that. I need to make another one of these because I've got a trip coming up shortly, and the one I had before is quite worn out. So that was my Sorrento bucket hat out of 2 fat quarters. Fair bit of interfacing, but great fun to make. I also finally managed to get around to making just a couple of pairs of the Acacia Knickers, which I'm not going to hold up to you like that, but I'll just show you a glimpse, and there we go. That's the Acacia Knickers. I've got some wonderful, I think it's five centimetre lace on the bottom. I got some picot edging, and I just wanted some more kind of flesh tones, so I made a couple of pairs of those. So, and the final thing I wanted to do, I had loads and loads of scraps of cotton, which I think I was talking about last week in my Friday sews. But amongst that was a load of jelly roll strips, which I got to do a project, and I had loads left over. So I managed to use a few of those up. And I used Adam Sews Trio of Pouches pattern. Yet again, I don't know how many times I've used this pattern, but I did the large one. And look at me. I sewed all the strips together, I quilted it, and not my favourite colours, but I made one of the large pouches. Because I didn't bring any backing fabric with me, I had to quilt the inside as well. So it was great. I only used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strips of the jelly roll. I used some quite soft batting this time. I didn't bring any fusible fleece with me, just used a soft batting. The reason I'm keeping this here is because I needed a makeup bag down here to keep all my makeup in. So we've got duplicates of everything. So I was quite happy I made that up last night. Another little makeup bag for down here. As you can see, it is a lovely day. We very much enjoyed our weekend down here. I did bring one more project down with me to do, and that was some pyjamas, but I don't think I'm going to have time. So hopefully I will get time the rest of the week. So thank you for joining me down in the holiday home, and back to normal, Carole.
I had so much fun making that hat. I made a lot of them a few years ago, so I came back and I just had to make another one. The Elbe Textiles Sorrento hat, I can't remember if I got free from signing up to something like a newsletter, but I've just checked the website and it's still available and it's £4. But you might be able to get it free, I'm not sure. So my daughter and I are going away to Mallorca in a couple of weeks. It's just her and I are taking the boys away for a week in a hotel. It will not be a holiday, as any of you with grandchildren will know, so that's 7 and 3. But I thought I'd make a hat for my holiday. I like the Jazzy hats, and I had these 2 fat quarters in my stash. I have to say, to get it out of a fat quarter is tough going, and there is a seam where a seam shouldn't be in this one, but I'm not going to point it out. So made it reversible. Now in the video I sent from the holiday home, I said next time I make it I'm going to put those rivets in so I have air holes. I tried and failed miserably, so I've got 3 kind of horrible holes in this. You'll never be able to see it, but it just didn't work. What I should have done is kind of do it in the beginning rather than trying to do it at the end. I was trying to do it at the end when it was all made up because I thought that was the way to do it, but clearly not. And this is me with poppers and rivets, and I'm just useless. It just doesn't work for me. So I've got kind of 1 air gap hole and another hole, and I'm gutted really because it sport it right at the end. No one's ever going to see it because it's on the top of my head, but you can kind of see where I tried that way through. So I will try it on for you, but hats, as I've said, don't really suit me, but I kind of liked this kind of very flowered vibe. It does not go with what I'm wearing at the moment, but yeah, I shall be wearing that on my holiday. Now I do wear a baseball cap to look a bit more trendy, but when you're reading and it's really hot, I like the shade all the way around my face, especially if you can't get an umbrella. So yeah, I made that this week. I love it. Trying to get my hair flat again now after that hat trying on session. I did make the pyjamas I wanted to make as well. Now I took them down to the holiday home, but I didn't make them down there. I made them when I came back. Now I know I've been told off before for moaning about pop fabrics from Joanne, but this was one, and this is one of their lighter weight ones. Now it's just what I wanted, and it is cotton jersey and it's going to be very light, but this is what I mean about no recovery. I know I shouldn't moan because I was told off by quite a few people, Pop Fabrics has its benefits, and the styles and everything and the designs you can get are amazing, and they're brilliant for children and sleepwear. But I did make up these pyjamas. Now the bottom I just used New Look 6859, really just for the shape. I made them cropped, or as long as I could get away with the amount of fabric I had. So not much to report there really. I put a button on the front this time so I know which is front and back. I don't know if that'll work. And the top was McCalls 7515. I lengthened it by about an inch because it can come up quite cropped. I don't tend to use that shorts pattern because it takes a bit more fabric, a bit wider length than this one. So here we are, here we have it. Not much to write home about. I didn't try it on for you because it's pyjamas. So that was finally got the pyjamas done that I wanted to make, and that was all my pop fabric used up. Still on the pyjamas theme, I managed to half sew. Now I like to show you finished garments, but I didn't have time to finish this one this week, and there was a reason. But this was some sleep shorts I was making for my son because it's his birthday soon, 6404, in this amazing Schitt's Creek fabric that Adam from Adam Sews sent me. It's so cool. So I've made the shorts halfway up, but I haven't put the elastic in yet because I don't know how wide to make the elastic, because he lives about 2 hours away from me. I'm going to have to contact his wife, I think, and get her to measure a pair of his shorts so I can put the elastic in, or try and get my husband to try them on. But they do look really cool, and I'm really pleased I got those made up. But they've just got to be finished. So thank you very much, Adam, for that fabric. I forgot to tell you last week, but I have one lovely viewer called Sue who keeps trying to take me down the indie pattern route. Bless her. She thinks of me when she sees a pattern, and she let me know about the Juliet top was on sale a couple of weeks ago. That's a Love Notions top. Now I love a lot of Love Notions patterns, but they're PDF only, which I don't get on with. We all know I don't get on with. But anyway, this was $5, and this was a top I had my eye on when I saw a lot of people make it last year. In fact, I went through all my stash trying to see of a similar pattern I had or how I could adapt it. But at $5, I thought, go on, do it, buy it. So I bought it, and I thought, shall I print it off myself? I thought, no, I'm going to try this PDF plotting shenanigans. So I went online and I found somewhere that would sell it. I'm not going to say where. And yeah, it seemed very cheap. But then they added postage, and the postage was so expensive. It made it £19 to have this one pattern sent to me. I don't know how the rest of you do it, but I thought absolutely no. I did look somewhere else, and it was going to be about a similar price. So forget it. I thought I will print it off. Now, because we've been sort of a bit of upheaval the last couple of weeks, I haven't had time to do it, but I really must. I don't think there's a massive amount of pages, so maybe 20 pages, so hopefully I can get that print off. But thank you very much to Sue for pointing me in the direction of the Juliet top. And sorry that this bit of news is a little bit too late for any of you to catch it as well. It is my 2-year anniversary of doing YouTube next week. So I've actually got a collab coming out that day. That's the lovely collab with Violet May Handmade. So that's Samantha and Caitlin, a mother and daughter team from Australia. So we're doing a collab, but it's actually coming out on exactly the same day as my 2-year anniversary. For my 2-year anniversary, I thought I'd do a fun little video, because sometimes it's not all about the sewing and what we've made. I like watching something a bit different sometimes, so I thought I would do a fun little video, very light-hearted video. So hopefully I will get that out as well next week to celebrate my 2 years. Now I must say, you have to tune in to this collab, this thing I have made. I've got to be careful, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but I've tried to do something, a battle of an indie and a big full pattern. Not going to say any more.
The funny thing was, I had more or less finished the garment before I went away for the weekend. I only had one thing to do, and that was sew another piece onto it. I did a big tidy up before I left. When I came back, could I find that one piece that needed to be sewn onto the garment? I couldn't. And oh my goodness, I sweated. I turned this place upside down looking for it, convinced that I'd thrown it away. I'll tell you all about that. That was naughty of me to give you a little teaser, wasn't it? I'll tell you all about that in my collab reveal on Tuesday. But yeah, that was fun. As I said, my daughter and I are going away, so I've got a couple of little things that I would really like to make before we go away. We go away at the end of May, a day after my birthday actually. So we going away, it will be in a beach holiday. We'll just be by the pool with the children, I would imagine. So I wanted to make another little kind of beach dress. I've used, and I may rave on about this pattern a bit more in a few weeks time, but that's 6540 Birder pattern, easy. Again, never underestimate the easy patterns or always think that you've got to do something more complicated. With the right fabric, they all look great. This is a dress, but it's a fantastic shape. I can't describe it. It's not a balloon shape, but it does kind of come in at the hem. Now I made this in a kind of tropical print fabric, I would say about 5 years ago now, and I love it as a kind of throw-on dress just to go down to the pool. So I'm going to make another, and I found the perfect piece of fabric in my stash, and I have no idea where it came from. It's cotton jersey. Look at that. What could be more perfect for a kind of beach pool holiday than that? So that shouldn't take too long. It's got no fastenings. You just do a rolled hem. I've now got my cover stitch machine, so that'll be simple. But yeah, bird young, I wish. But yeah, that's one thing I'd like to get make up. Another thing I'd really like to make is, I've had this beautiful piece of linen viscose in my stash for a long time, about 3 years ago. I made a dress from it, and the dress was terrible, but the fabric I absolutely loved. There was something about the way it fitted, and it was a bit tight on me, so I had to say goodbye to that dress. But I have got, I'm hoping, a fair enough trunk to make just a little light shift dress. And I've had this pattern forever, 6022, and I've never made it up. It looks very simple. It's got kind of a gathering at the neckband there. Does seem to have some kind of tie detail or something on the sleeve. Hang on a minute, let me find that, and I just want to see what that is. So I'm going to go into my drawer actually, which I'm sat right beside 6022. It's the first one in there. Must be very first 600. Let's have a look at that sleeve. It looks like it's a little gathered sleeve, doesn't it there? I would think so. Rustle, rustle, rustle. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, you gather up the little bit of the hem of the sleeve. That could be quite interesting. So I'm hoping there's enough fabric there. Sorry, rustle, rustle. I'm hoping there's enough fabric there to just get that made up. Just a little dress. I will probably do the one with sleeves, as I'm not that confident with my arms anymore. But yeah, two hopefully little simple things that I can get made up before we go away. I've also got one other plan. So in my simplicity video the other day, I did the top 10 my favourite simplicities. I showed this pattern here and I said, I've never made the t-shirt version. Right, got no excuse because I think this fabric would work. It's a raglan sleeve t-shirt. I went on and on about it. It has got a back closure, but you can get away with not putting it on. Certainly with the jersey, hopefully I'll get away with it. But I would like to make that up as well. That's 3 things for next week. Do we think it'll be possible? Not sure. If you're hearing some barking in my video today, it's because we're looking after my daughter's dog. My daughter was in the office today, so we had to look after my daughter's dog, Reggie. Now you will know that we lost our lovely Mickey a couple of weeks ago now.
So we have Reggie. Now, Mickey never used to bark, so looking after Reggie is completely different. The thing I will say is he's been really unsettled in our house since we lost Mickey. Obviously, a lot of things have gone and you can tell he's looking for him, so it's been quite sad actually. But we've been trying to give him the love. But yeah, I'm still taking him out on walks, which is quite nice that I'm not losing my little bit of fresh air that I used to love every day. We are actually staying at home this weekend, which is a very rare thing these days. The weather is meant to be amazing, so we're hoping we'll get some time to spend outside, maybe have a barbecue. The thing is with England, you have to grab the weather when we get it because it's going to disappear, I know. Next week isn't so good. So we're going to make the most of the weather this weekend. Last weekend we also had amazing weather when we were down in the holiday home. We did a lovely walk to Lyme Regis in Dorset. Now Lyme Regis is quite famous. A lot of people tend to flock there in the summer, but we did a walk where we could walk into it, park outside and walk in, which was lovely. Because it was a bank holiday, it was quite busy down there, but I did take a couple of photos. We also did another walk where we saw some more bluebells. Now, bluebells have been incredible this year, and wild garlic around. Now, I don't know what that means for our summer, but it's definitely been the year of the bluebell. Even my husband was amazed at the amount of bluebells. So we've had a couple of really good weekends. I hope if you're in England, you've also made the most of the weather this week. And wherever you are in the world, thank you so much for stopping by. I know there's a million channels out there, sewing channels, and I really appreciate you being here and chatting with me in the comments, and you've all been so kind recently. It's been wonderful. I hope I will catch you again next week for my 2-year anniversary. I just can't believe the amount of videos and the amount of times I've sat in front of my iPad talking to myself about sewing and then being brave enough to put it out there. So thank you very much. Have an amazing weekend sewing or whatever you want to do, because it's not always about the sewing, it's about the crafting as well. And I will see you shortly. Goodbye for now.